get on the phone and call the man.
And still is reduced because it's a 6 to 9 month stand down.
And estimated
Estimated time. And how, when, I mean, did this board approve a 6 to 9 month suspension of
Mr.
this
Chairman,
program?
I'm not sure who's
When did
at
that
the
happen?
budget hearing last week, I brought this exact issue up, and I said, can we save some money on the insurance while these choppers are down? The answer was yes, and we're getting the exact figure. We have it. It's a simple matter of approving us a savings of $42,000.
Well, the question, rhetorical perhaps, since it's not, I guess, appropriate under Robert's rules to ask a question of another member of this body, but when did this board decide, consider and decide to suspend this program?
Was that the meeting?
I'd like to know the date because I'll look back at the public record and find it if I missed a meeting.
Okay, is there any more discussion on this particular item? Seeing none, objection?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1. Commissioner Bigelow. Commissioner Bigelow, 10D. Interlocal agreement between Collier and Lee County.
D.
That's what you said?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said B. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll get to that. 10D, this is authorized approval and execution of an interlocal agreement between Collier County and Lee County for emergency medical services mutual aid. This interlocal agreement was, I believe, seen by, considered, and adopted by Collier County government Board of County Commissioners in July. Is that true? Can I have Chief? Good morning. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
For the record, Kim Dickerson, Deputy Director of Public Safety. Collier County has been working on this interlocal agreement since May 9th. They're working on it to formalize our mutual aid response between county lines. And this was approved by their board on July 24th, and then they submitted it to us to get before our board. Back during the draft stages, we worked back and forth with the language. We had the county attorney review it for legal sufficiency. And again, it went before their board on July 24th. Then after it was processed on their end, they've submitted it to us, and we have put it before you for your consideration.
Okay, so July 24th, the Board of County Commissioners for Collier County approved the interlocal agreement. And when did you get it in its final draft?
Let me see if I have a date stamped on here. I don't have the date received with me. Actually, the letter was sent to us on July 31st. I don't have a date received, but I can pull that for you and get back with you.
Okay, so it's August, and this part of September. We're mostly through September. So 2 months later, we're seeing it. That's roughly true, right? Roughly true?
Yes, sir.
And yet in August, this program that Collier County Board of County Commissioners contemplated, understood to be in existence at the time in July, was known as MedStar, Lee County program, approved by the Board of Lee County Commissioners and funded. Am I correct? Managed by Lee County government, correct?
Could you frame your question for me? I don't
In
understand.
July, on July 24th, the Collier County Board of County Commissioners considered an interlocal agreement for mutual aid, which include helicopter mutual aid assistance, knowing that we, Lee County, had a program known as MedStar in existence at the time, correct?
That is correct.
Right. And yet county management suspended it in August. Collier County, I assume, knows this, and the interlocal agreement is somehow amended.
The interlocal agreement is for both ground and helicopter coverage. It's a mutual aid to allow us to cross county lines and establish policies and procedures as such. We do not have anything formalized with them. They're requesting this formalized agreement, I had a conversation this morning with their chief to advise him, again, this is on the board, just to see if he was coming up here or not today, but they also have a board meeting, so he could not be here. This agreement is required in a written format for them to obtain commission accreditation for their EMS service, for CAS accreditation, which is the Commission on Accreditation of Ambulance Services. They're just requesting a written document. In the past, it has always just been a verbal mutual understanding.
Okay. Chief, last Friday there was an accident at Corkscrew 41, and helicopter assistance was called upon. Those programs or those services that were called upon, are they directly managed by Lee County Public Safety?
I don't understand your question with directly managed.
Are the services provided, I think, some by Hendry County, some by Collier, are they managed directly by Lee County Public Safety?
No, sir, we have a memorandum of understanding with AeroMed when they relocated into here. We don't have any formalized agreement with Bayflight. When a field crew requests helicopter service, dispatch starts readily locating a helicopter to assist.
Okay. So we do not manage those current backup programs, right? And this interlocal agreement, well, does this interlocal agreement then, because it is formalizing and defining each county's responsibility and liability when responding to a mutual aid request, does this interlocal contemplate the fact that we do not have a helicopter program in existence, operation today, that we do not manage?
Sir, our helicopter service has been suspended temporarily, and if we need to go back...
Does the interlocal contemplate that?
The interlocal agreement addresses both ground and air. There has not been a revision request from Collier County regarding this interlocal agreement.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Mr. Hunt, okay, this is a county, this is an interlocal agreement we're being asked to support here this morning by county management. Defines each county's responsibilities and liabilities when responding to mutual aid requests. I guess I have to ask you, and I'm going to have to kind of search for the question here because I'm just seeing some red flags and I'm not sure completely understand them. I'll have to be candid with you in that regard. I don't quite understand. If we approve this interlocal, and it's defining responsibilities and liabilities, what liability might we have when mutual aid assistance is called upon in the form of a helicopter backup ambulatory service, and yet we don't manage it? Is our liability increased, decreased, or remains the same?
And
Does this interlocal? What does this interlocal agreement say about the current scenario?
well, it doesn't address. I mean, it doesn't address the current scenario because the current scenario isn't fleshed out in this agreement. So,
Right.
I mean, as to that specific question, it's simply silent on it.
Right.
Where terms of a contract are silent, then it would be for the best, I mean, in working in connection or conjunction with the other parties to make sense out of the contract or the mutual aid agreement. And therefore, it would be my estimation that in a context or a concern like this, as you proposed, that the two parties would look and see how to best effectuate and manage the situation under the circumstances.
Oh, all right. Sounds like we're then in a quagmire or more of that. Here, Mr. Chairman, members of my board, is my problem. This interlocal, as it says here, defines the responsibilities and liabilities, and county manager's saying, well, we'll get there when we cross it. Chief of EMS says Collier County didn't know at the time, couldn't know, wasn't the situation, and yet we have this helicopter ambulatory service we don't manage. Everything tells me that this has probably got to go back in the oven at least. We need to probably redraft it to contemplate the status quo with our MedStar program or lack of MedStar program, and send it back to Collier County and see if they'll accept this situation. I'd also like to say that I think the liability that this should contemplate is not only what may or may not happen with this mutual aid assistance that we don't manage, but also the fact that if it's true, as I believe it to be very, very clearly true, that this county has illegally suspended its MedStar program because it is a program that the county manager, the executive branch of this government, decided solely to suspend through actions of hers and her designees, not an act of this board. It was not a decision made at an advertised public meeting. And that is contrary to state law. And we, if we continue on this path, will be co-conspirators in the county manager's efforts to illegally suspend a program. We hold that sole authority and responsibility. Now, under county commissioner items later, I've put forth several questions to the county attorney. I hope he's prepared to answer as best he can that addresses those concerns of the illegal nature in which this program was suspended. But I don't think we can approve this interlocal at this time, knowing that we have potentially dire consequences.
Is that a motion, Commissioner?
To deny it, yes.
Okay, motion to deny item 10D by Commissioner Bigelow. Is there a second? Dies for lack of second. Is there a motion to approve?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
And I want to state, Commissioner Bigelow, I share your concerns, and I support what you're saying. I guess I concur with Commissioner Mann of the timing of all of it, but in the interlocal, there is a paragraph that identifies that in the event that any provision of this agreement shall be held invalid or unenforceable, the remaining the remaining provisions shall be valid and binding. And I would assume that we put them in writing on notice that we do not have the helicopter service up and running at this time, and that we are in a mutual aid with those we already have mutual aid with. So again, this also deals with our ground transport. So I guess, Kim, my question to you is, have we officially put in writing, not through media reports, but have we put in writing to Collier County that we are down with our MedStar at this point, and that that portion of this mutual aid agreement cannot be enforced?
I have not done that at this time on official letterhead. We have communicated back and forth. They're aware of the status. If this interlocal agreement is executed today, we will send a supplemental document to them to inform them formally that the MedStar operation has been suspended.
Okay. With that in mind, and I'd like to see, because that's not part of this document, I'd like to see that when it goes out, have it come back through maybe under county manager items, so that it can be part of this record that we have here and it's easy to find, just FYI for us. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal.
Could you amend your motion to include the document?
Yes.
Okay.
The document included will come back as an FYI under county manager items at the next appropriate meeting.
Correct. Motion by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Mann.
Discussion.
Yep, go ahead.
Who is it? Aeromed, is that the name of the people that are substituting for us right now?
Yes, sir.
Out of Tampa?
No, they're out of LaBelle.
Well, that's where the chopper came to us from. I spoke to somebody on the phone in Tampa who...
They have multiple locations. Aeromed is out of Tampa General Hospital.
Yeah. Is that helicopter not available to do what our helicopters were under this agreement?
That doesn't impact them at all. They're still able to provide service to our community.
That wasn't my question. Can they provide service to Collier?
Yes, sir. They will go to Collier if Collier requests them for support.
And just as though it was our helicopter?
Yes, sir.
Under this agreement we're talking about. So the service is still available that was previously available?
The service is still available. That does not impact that. This interlocal agreement is between Lee County and Collier County only. If a Lee County helicopter was busy, if a Collier County helicopter was busy and Collier needed another helicopter, they could call for Aeromed outside of this interlocal agreement.
Yep.
I'm assuming, though, that Aeromed is treated as though it were our helicopter under this agreement, and that they would...
No, sir, they're not.
They would have to call Aeromed's headquarters and...
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be good to ask Aeromed if they could be a temporary party to this Collier obligation as part of what's going on here as a temporary coverage. I mean, they're covering Lee County temporarily, and it seemed to me a pretty simple thing for them to do the same service that our folks were doing on a temporary basis to Collier.